The healing place truly is where hope is found. Folks struggling with addictions for themselves or for loved ones find new beginnings at the healing place. The program is based on a social model of empowerment rather than entitlement. Let's take a closer look at the healing place.
Thank you very much.
There was a point in my life where it was either find help or die.
I came to the healing place because I was very sick. I didn't know where else to go.
I never thought life could be like this. I didn't think people could just quit. Certainly not me. You never know where your help's going to come from.
I couldn't function very well. I was very dependent on drugs and alcohol.
Everybody's path is different. There's not one reason that gets us this disease.
Mission statement is to reach the homeless, to provide an innovative recovery program for those in addiction, and to restore them productive lives. Reach, recover, and restore. Very simple. The overnight homeless shelter for men still coming in into the shelter under the influence. The detox, where men can come in off the street and safely detox most all drugs and chemicals. And then a residential recovery program in the Morgan Center. And the upstairs of the Morgan Center is wet, in other words, you can be under the influence, and the downstairs is dry or alcohol and drug free, and that's the residential recovery program. And that became the essence of the model. We decided to develop a community model that was strength-based, that recognized the strengths of the individual, and even though they were alcoholics and addicts, and then add to that unconditional love and a safe place to be accountable for behavior and make suggestions to change that behavior that were strength-based. And that became the community model. The peer mentor is one who just recently has come from off the street, spent 6 months going through the recovery program, and now volunteers to teach all the classes, role model recovery, and share their experience, strength, and hope.
So this opportunity to give back what was freely given to me. And part of that process was, while I was in the peer mentor's office, the powers that be created a position in food service, a part-time food service person. I didn't know really what I was going to do when I finished. I didn't know if I wanted to go back to television. I didn't really think I wanted to go back to television. I applied for it. I was hired. And it was funny because they said, we want you to start, but you can't start here unless you have a year sober. What's your sobriety date? And I told them. They said, my God, that's God. That's the day we want that job to start. So 1 year from walking into detox here and asking for help, lost, beaten down, I got the keys to the building and went on staff. And that was 3 years ago now. That transition suddenly became, I think I have a little added burden of, I'm one of you guys, I've went through the program, I can tell you it works, and I think that carries a little more weight. They can't say I don't understand. I've walked that walk. I've taken that 47-step walk from detox across the street and saying, yes, I want to get into the program. Yes, I'll do whatever it takes.
The first day that I was here, I walked in the doors and the women were lining up to go into OTS, which is off the streets, in the program. And I walked in and I seen all these women and they were all smiling and laughing, and I felt miserable and I couldn't understand why these people were happy. And a lot of them talked to me and was genuinely talking to me and cared about where I came from, who I was, and what brought me here. And I've never known people like that ever, to truly care about someone without even knowing them at all. I just knew that I didn't know what else to do, so I was going to let someone else tell me what to do. You know, I needed that help. I needed that guidance.
This disease does not discriminate. It affects every socioeconomic level of this community, from the east end to the west end to the south to the north, across the river into southern Indiana and on. It affects high school graduates, bachelor's degree, master's degree, PhDs, doctors. We've got attorneys, we've got doctors and dentists, we've got People who've never had a job because they started using drugs and alcohol as an adolescent and never got a job. They continued to use alcohol and drugs. The thing about recovery is everyone knows what addiction looks like on the negative side. They see it in the newspapers and on television all day, every day. In all the crimes that we see, there's always some component of alcohol or drugs. But when you get into recovery, you lose that identity because you're now part of the community where you're becoming a giver rather than a taker. And so they become the best employees, the best students, the best moms and dads, sons and daughters. They become volunteers at the Little League. They teach Sunday school. And you don't know that you're standing right next to a person in recovery unless they so choose to self-disclose.
I have 4 children who now have a sober father. And all those things that happened would not have happened had I not got sober. Everybody's motivated by something different. My motivation is now them and helping other people. I don't know what it's like for people to get up and go to work in the morning and think they're doing something important. I get up every morning ready to go.
I wanted to make sure that I was prepared and that I was at that point that I was going to succeed in life. And that's really where I'm at now. I am a transitional house manager, and I try to be the best role model and example for them so that way that they can follow in my footsteps, so that way they can see that it's possible.